Hi, guys.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
We're back in Florida, and my hair knows all about that. How about you, John? Does your hair know that you're back in Florida with the
You
humidity?
clearly, you can see the effect it's having.
we, we are we're back, and it feels good to be back in Florida for sure. Even though it's really hot, it's interesting when you pay attention to what really nourishes you, and what I really realize nourishes me is sunshine. And where we were in Beach Mountain was amazing, but you're basically in the forest, and which is the whole point of being in the mountains, right?
Yeah.
But actually I didn't realize that Beach Mountain actually has a lot of rain, and which keeps it so lush. So anyway, getting back here, being home and just having the sunshine, I have to say I have felt my mood elevated quite a bit. So much so that, yeah, just so much so. There's more there, but I'll hold that for another time. Yeah, we need to have a discussion later, I think. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right, all right. So we wanted to share a little bit today, not just about how happy we are to be back in Florida and enjoying this, but want to share a little bit about how sometimes we can get stuck into patterns that really keep us from connecting. And
Oh, you're
maybe
really
you
gonna
had,
go there?
yeah,
Oh, he's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
go
I'm gonna
there.
go there. Yeah.
So we were getting ready. We were on someone's podcast today, and it was a video cast. And so I went for a walk with a friend, and then I was doing my hair, and I didn't have time to curl it, so I was like dry. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. I'm drying it out and going as fast as I can. And you have to understand, I haven't really been dressed in like a month. I mean, I've gotten dressed to film videos for the program, but
You got dressed. You just didn't
yeah, I didn't walk around naked.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nudist colony at Beach Mountain, but I like, you know what I mean. And ladies know what I mean when I say that. Like,
Okay,
we
all
got
right,
dressed. I mean, usually I put makeup on. I have lipstick on. I actually have earrings on. I actually changed my necklace, whatever. But I'm getting ready, and I'm thinking about what we're going to talk about, and I was like, wow, it's really human here. I need to get a haircut, all the things. And lady, we have this ideal woman that lives in our head, and this ideal woman is perfect. Like, her hair's always done, her nails done. I mean, she's like the perfect figure, all the things, and she's always judging us. And the work that we do and the teachers that we work with, we call this animal spirit and human spirit. And animal spirit is going to be the ideal woman in your head. So I'm looking at myself, and the ideal woman starting to judge myself. Did I gain weight when I was gone? Did I this? Your hair's all the things, right? And then I hear John say, "Hey, they're ready for us. They're a little bit early." And I'm thinking, he's not even going to notice me. He's not even going to notice me. And it's so funny. I'm laughing about it now, but it's so true. Can all of you, ladies, I'm just curious. I mean, can you comment? Can you do a thumbs up? And I need my sisters on my side. But I started making up this story that he doesn't find me attractive. He's not going to notice me. Just all the things, and literally planning a whole story. Already mad at him, and he hasn't even said anything except they're ready
Well,
for
I
us
think that's
here.
why you were mad at me.
Yes,
Is I hadn't
yes,
said
he hadn't said
anything.
anything. I wanted him to walk in and be like, "Wow, look at you." And not like that time you said, "Oh, you stepped it up." That was
no,
another
no.
thing. Oh, you stepped it up. That was one of our dates. But yeah, so I was thinking all this in my head before he even said anything else, and I stopped, and I'm like, okay, breathe in, do what you've been taught. Yes.
Yeah. And guys, just to set the stage a little bit, right? So we have, we guys, we are single focused. I mean, anyone, when you're in your masculine, you're single focused, right? So I was firmly in my masculine. We had a on-air interview going on in about 10 minutes. And there was some work that had to be done. I have the checklist in my head of all the things that need to be gone through. And so one of the checklist items was remind Sandy we're going on in a few minutes and confirm our broadcast location. So I walk back, and I'm in single focus mode. I'm in task mode. What's next on the list?
Yep, and he marked that thing off the list. He let me know. So anyway, what I did is decided to, and if you've been working with me or following us, you've heard us say that, you can practice, practice being devoted to your partner, being devoted to yourself, moment to moment to moment. And so what I decided to do was go deep into practice, and I decided to do what I've been taught and what I teach, and I just turned around and I looked at John, and I just held his gaze, and I smiled, imagine that, Leah smiled. And I just sat there and I was just straightening my hair and then smiling and not being a redwood. I was actually moving my body a little bit, and he went.
Now, so hang on. Before we get to
and
that,
I was clothed, just so you know.
So,
too. Yes.
so men, this is probably a point where I should have been like, when she looked at me that way, I should have immediately, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. I should have noticed her a bit. Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so wonderful. I'm still in task mode. My brain is trying to figure this out, right? Because she didn't give me. I gave her. Are you gonna be ready? This is where we're going to broadcast. Are you good? And she gives me this look instead. So
what was the look?
The look was this. I don't know. I can't describe the look. It was. But
well, show us. Pretend like you're me.
It was this. You were gazing at me. You were gazing at me.
He does it pretty well, doesn't he?
Yeah. And so what goes through my head though is not, oh my gosh, you're gorgeous or anything like that yet, because I'm still locked on the single focus. So I think what came out of my mouth
oh my God.
was something along the lines of what?
He did. He went, what? And I'm thinking, oh, that MF. Like, I went, nothing. And I'm just.
But here's the beautiful thing. To Sandy's credit, she just held the gaze. She held what we call hold the pose. Hold the pose. She held the pose. And it took a few seconds for my mind to shift, but all of a sudden it did.
It did. And there was this moment where you felt the connection, for all of you that remember Tupperware or Legos, and when you hear like the click or the burp if it's Tupperware, like the old timey days, right? And I could feel it. And I thought to myself, oh, my heart just opened and I could feel the connection. And then he walks over to me and then he like scooped me up and, he told me that he was a very blessed man to be married to me. And I smiled and we kissed for a minute. And then we went to walk away. I did what I call the squeal factor, which is like, we're like, yes! And he turned on me and went, what? And I went, I did it. I said, I did the practice. And he laughed and he was, what? And I said, I said, all this is going in my head. And he said, like most men do, you were thinking all of that in that short amount of time? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that is that, pardon my language, but the bitch in our head, the ideal woman in our head that makes up these stories to keep us safe. And in my instance, my stories of being safe is that all men, don't honor me or leave me or whatever that old story is I don't even like to go to. Yeah. So I just want to say, like, it's fascinating how we really can change the moment like that with our partner. We can evoke so much. And a lot of it's going to come from using less words. And I like to call it like putting the invisible duct tape on your mouth and holding the pose. Many times the man will be the one holding the pose, especially when we as women are what I like to call a hot mess, and we're very, very emotional, and versus them judging us or what have you. There's nothing like when you hold that space for me and allow me to kind of come undone to come back together. Yeah. So what does that look like when that happens? What do you when you see me, because that was such a beautiful moment we had, but I want to actually maybe make it a teaching moment in the sense of, how many men tell you when you're coaching them that she's just a mess or she's so emotional or she's so crazy? What is that like?
There's a couple of things on. I think first off, I like to tell my clients that we men have a 12-volt nervous system and women have about a 10,000-volt nervous system. And it is really easy for us as men to just get fritzed out, right? To collapse, to withdraw. Or to, we go into fight or flight. And a lot of times, it happens less with a positive emotion. If your partner's doing a squeal factor or something like that, you kind of absorb. But if it goes to anything else, if it goes to anything else, a lot of times where it goes to something maybe we perceive as negative, where they're upset, they're unhappy, then it is, we withdraw. It can trigger that. So I think the first thing is really just expanding out your nervous system to be able to handle more. Because you've shared this, and I know women have shared so much that they want to be more of everything, and a lot of times they find themselves holding back with a man because they're afraid the man's going to say you're too much, or I can't handle you, or you're out of, whatever, when there's so much more of them that they can give.
Yeah, and then we're talking about doing this with an open heart. We're not talking about you abusing your partner and having him just sit there and take it, take it, take it. But there's practices for this that we can go deeper into, and I believe that you have a way that you can do a quick call with us, and we can go deeper into what that would look like. There is a way that you can reveal your heart, ladies, in a beautiful way that actually will. I can't promise it won't fritz their nervous system out. It really depends on how they're breathing you in. But there is a way that you can start developing your own way of showing up that actually will invite him to actually stay with you. It is quite beautiful, but it is a practice and it does take time. But it is something that it's amazing to me that what happened to us this morning. I mean, we practice like that a lot, and that's the way we live our life. But even though I'm so practiced in this work for years and years, I still wanted to attack you for not doing the thing that would make me feel good. Like he's not doing the thing to make me feel good about myself, which is what many of us do, right? I mean, how many times during a day do you get upset because someone else, not just your partner, is not doing something, calling you back, texting you back fast, maybe giving you the service on your AC the way you want, mosquito contraption that you bought is not working. So stuff like that.
The mosquito magnet.
Yes.
But it is. I mean, and a lot of times what happens is when we don't understand each other, we assume this human animal part of us takes over, and we assume the worst, and we go into this very defensive posture or whatnot, and it just leads to more of a breakdown. I mean, it could have gone very differently this morning.
Yep.
That you could have, because you had the voice and the feeling and everything else going on. That you could have looked at me and just snapped. You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
And then what would have happened, right? It would have gone a different way if we'd both started going down that path.
Yeah.
It is part of the reason why I said I'm so blessed, because you know this. You do this. Yeah.
And I know it, and I received that. Thank you. I received that. Thank you.
Yeah.
There are many times I wouldn't have received that. I would have like poo-pooed it off. I mean, again, how many times does someone give you a compliment and you just like, oh yeah, and you move on to the next thing? So just slow down and receive that. So thank you. This has come up before with us about going out on a date. I'll get upset because we're not going out enough, and or what have you, and then John's always planning dates for us, and then I'm such a homebody, then I want to cancel them. So there's just things to be aware of, like how much more aware can you be of how you're showing up, and where can you actually, maybe ladies, put the duct tape on your mouth and hold the gaze, smile, just move your body in a way to get him to notice you, get him off his phone, get him away from the TV, for example, without having to be bitchy about it and stomp your feet or whatever. So there's just so many things that you can do that actually makes your relationship a lot more fun. I think I've talked before about how I've done this with my son Cameron. He's actually visiting us right now, but before he hadn't come home in a while, and in the past I may have called him and said, gosh, I wish you would come home, you never come home, I haven't seen you, and that naggy thing that we can do as women that never draws men to us, including our sons. And I just basically just sent him a video of me just, and he called me back right away, and he's like, what's going on, Mom? And I'm like, I miss you, I really would love to see you. And yeah, there's just that has such a different effect, right? Than me nagging him for not coming home, or because I'd already said I'd really love you to come home the week before. So we're just giving you some tips here, and we're going to be shifting how we show up and what time we show up. We're going to move to an earlier time, and we'll let all of you know. We know we have quite a few people who watch us, and we love that. Thank you. Yeah. And this all started when we started quarantine, and we don't really want to stop. But we want to actually make it earlier so it's not in the middle of everybody's day. And of course, you can always catch it later. So
absolutely, yeah.
So I just want to say this too. I'll speak for myself. I have another sisterhood, my group coaching program, starting in a few weeks, and I'm taking applications. I do not take everybody that wants to work with me, and neither does John. We do work with couples as well, and but I'm really enjoying the women that I'm talking to now and placing them in the sisterhood. So if you know someone who is interested in going deeper in their women's practice and enhancing their relationship, maybe that they're already in, or one that they want to manifest, I would love to work with them, or at least talk to them. And I have a screening process that we'll know if it's the right time for you or not. Yeah.
Yeah, and men, so there's two things that I want to share with you all. The first is the Men Ignited program. This is a community service, just something that I spun up in quarantine to give men a chance to connect. It's really a brotherhood of men sharpening each other, encouraging and challenging each other to be better partners, better fathers, better leaders. And so if you're interested in that, it's Monday night, 6:55 p.m. Link on my Facebook page. You'll see it there, and would absolutely love to see every man there. I think it's just such a great community, and it's so incredible what we're building. And for those of you who are interested in going deeper, I have a group spinning up in September. The next iteration of my men's group will be spinning up in September. And again, we've got the link. If you're interested, it's by application only. So I would love to talk to you, share a little bit more about it, determine if it's going to be a good fit for both of us. But if you're looking to go deeper in this work, if you're looking to really sharpen your present, sharpen your consciousness to be able to be more present, be more for the world, right? Be more for your partner, for your family, for the world, then this is the program for you. So I'd love to hear from you. And you can click on the link to learn more, to get with me and learn more.
I get so excited when I hear him talk about his men's group. I even get more excited when I see the men come through the men's group. I even get a charge when I hear John on the other side of the house where his office is. I can hear the rumbling of voices. I don't know what they're saying because everything's confidential, right? But I just can feel the energy. There's definitely a shift. There's definitely a shift in the air. So guys, I just want you to know that this men's work, there's something about it. And you also, when I'm working with women who have men who are doing the work, it's such a deeper experience that everybody has. And it actually is a little bit easier too for them to actually get where they want to go. It's not necessary, but why not? Why not want to be better for the world together? Yeah. So. All right, guys, we're back. Good to see you. Thank you for letting us just share here with all of you. We appreciate you. And please, if this resonated with you in any way, or please share. Please share this. And there's so much on the internet right now, and so much that you could be listening to, positive or negative. We do appreciate that you took the time to hear us out, and we just love you. We'll talk to you soon. See you.
Take care.
Bye.